Hello, I'm Alan Burden.
And I'm Fiona Cotvoys.
And we welcome you to our home, Kurrajong Hill, which is behind us. And here we are under the Kurrajong tree from which it's named.
Come, have a look at our home and we'll explain all the features to you. Because of where we live, we had to be completely independent. So we're on rainwater here and we have a number of rainwater tanks. We have a compostable toilet. We generate our own solar power and solar hot water. We have a wood masonry heater which provides the heating for our home, very unique item. We also have a wood stove for cooking and it's the backup for our hot water.
Our two-storey, three-bedroom home is thermally efficient. It's largely open plan with a cathedral ceiling for good air and warmth circulation. The northern sunroom provides heat in winter and it insulates the house in summer. And it's also a great drying room for firewood. We have underfloor vents that aid passive cooling in summer, feeding cool air into the lounge. All the interior timber and walls have natural finishes, which with the earth and straw bale walls and renders ensure excellent air quality. Our rammed earth walls progressed well and were completed when a fierce storm smashed the central wall. It took about 6 months to clean the damage and to get them rebuilt. The timber frame was fabricated from poles from the farm and bigger trees were milled to provide joists and bearers. The frame was erected using a tractor, winches and some ingenuity, and only the roof needed a crane. Our construction grade rise straw walls were built over 4 days by a workshop of 24 enthusiasts, many of whom are quite skilled at it as they do it as a holiday. We just provided food and drink. Later the walls were rendered with lime sand outside and clay sand inside. First coats are sprayed on and the finished coats by hand. Mineral paint outside and clay paints inside give durable finishes and they enable the walls to breathe, which give a great interior air quality.
This is a masonry heater. It's the only form of heating we have for our home and it's quite different to a slow combustion stove. So basically what happens is you fill the firebox with wood, you light it, and it takes about 2 to 3 hours to burn out. It burns very hot and very clean, and because of that you don't get the smoke, you don't get the ash, and you can see the glass door. I don't get any black on it. What happens is all that heat that's produced out of the wood, it travels up through the centre of the heater, through the bake oven, and then across and down the sides. And as it's passing through the heater, the heat gets transferred from the gases into this masonry, and the masonry absorbs the heat. So the next 24 hours, this masonry will then radiate that heat into our home, and it keeps our home at a consistent 21 degrees. Having grown up with slow combustion stoves, now knowing what a masonry heater is like, I wouldn't want any other form of heating than a masonry heater. We're fully on rainwater, and so for us, conserving our rainwater is really important. So we use compostable toilets. These don't use any rainwater at all. We've used 2 types. In here we have a Clivus Multrum, and before we used an H-Aloo when we were in the shed. Basically what happens with a compostable toilet is that you go to the toilet, and we'll show you inside shortly, and the material then falls down into the toilet and it just travels down and composts inside. With a Clivus Multrum, what happens with it is that the material stays in there and it slowly works down. So let me show you closer what it looks like. Hello, Henny Penny. Okay, so what happens is the material falls down into the Clivus Multrum, and then there's a slope and it works its way down the slope, decomposing as it goes. By the time it gets to the bottom, this is what it looks like. So it's been a mix of sawdust or wood shavings and feces, I guess. It evaporates out from there, and We periodically empty this and dig it out and put it into our other container. This isn't something you normally do with a Clivus Multrum, but because we have the other container spare, that's what we do.
So this is our solar system where everything gets fed into the house. The power from our panels out in the paddock, which are 1870 watt panels giving about 3 kilowatts, and that feeds into our regulators here and then into our twin 3 kilowatt inverters. So we can run everything in the house without any problems whatsoever. And the storage is, as you can see, this battery bank, 24 2-volt cells, 48 volt, 1200 amp hours, sealed gel, and no maintenance. They've been extremely good over the 11 or 12 years that this system has now been running. We've had no problems with this system whatsoever. So the noise you can hear is are the regulators, the fans switch on when they're keeping cool as they're handling the power coming in. We have a bright sunny day today, and so there's a good feed going in, and that's all monitored through this system here. We are completely off grid here, and so we depend entirely upon this system. The batteries will only need topping up from the generator when we have a number of cloudy days. On January 23rd, 2020, the bushfire that had been threatening us for 3 weeks finally overran our farm. It burned all the national parks by which we're completely surrounded, destroying countless trees. Our sprinklers saved the house, pumps, hoses and neighbours saved our sheds, and green grass some of our paddocks. We lost 5.5 kilometres of fences, but no cattle. It was very close. So that was a very brief look around our home. There's much more to see, but we weren't able to fit it into the time.
We hope that you're able to come to our home at Sustainable House Day next year and see what we missed showing you today. In the meantime, please stay safe.